quick question. Is Karmelo Anthony the next BLM a hustle?
What are you doing, bro?
You know what it is. Tweet tapping in. Anybody who fuck with me, fuck with my music, you gotta fuck with Karmelo Anthony, man. Justice for my dog. Website coming soon. You gotta tap in, man. Yeah.
The racial division has been going on in this country for quite a while now, right? And the more and more people has been adding fuel to the fire because, hey, let's say being a race baiter sells, being a controversial figure sells and all that stuff. So what up? Nah. And lately, you have this kid by the name of Karmelo Anthony that actually ended up stabbing another white kid at I think some high school football game or some high school event, right? And then now, of course, as that happened, so he got arrested and all that stuff. So then you already have the divided line going. Let's say if you like, you pro-white, you're gonna talk about like, hey, that's how they are. These people are just savages, blah blah blah. And if you pro-black, then you already make up your mind. So no matter what evidence showed up, you're not gonna give a damn because your mind's already made up as to who do you think is innocent and who you think is guilty.
To the black people who are saying that when Karmelo Anthony killed Austin Metcalf, Austin got what he deserved, what are we doing?
Our conclusion to this whole matter is simple as this, right? I don't know all the details. Could it have been self-defense? Yeah, probably. Could it have been like some sort of, this dude was just a savage? Probably. I don't know all the exact details, but the thing about it, right? My perspective of this whole matter is, I think the white kid was being a little bit of a Karen, right? He should have been like, yo, bro, you gotta move. This is our spot, blah, 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 right? And then this kid be like, who the fuck you think you are telling me to move, nigga? Right? And then, white was gonna be a scuffle. He's like, I'm not gonna be scuffle. Pull out that little book and poop, poop. And shit happens, right?
So here's what actually happened according to the official police report. Karmelo and Austin were at a high school track meet. Karmelo was in the wrong tent. He was from Centennial High School, but was in the tent for Memorial High School. Austin told Karmelo that he was in the wrong tent and needed to move. Karmelo told Austin, touch me and see what happens, while putting his hand in his bag. Then Austin either touched or pushed Karmelo. Karmelo then said, punch me and see what happens. So Austin then grabbed Karmelo. Karmelo then pulled a knife out of his bag, stabbed Austin in the chest, and ran away. Austin died. When the police found him, Karmelo admitted that he did it, but asked if he could claim self-defense. Now look, Austin made mistakes. He shouldn't have touched Karmelo. He shouldn't have grabbed Karmelo. And he didn't deserve to die for it. It's tragic that neither of these young men had learned better conflict resolution skills. And let's be honest, on the scale of physical aggression, Austin was a 3. Karmelo was a 10. Karmelo went to a track meet with a knife. Karmelo went to the wrong tent with a knife. Karmelo chose to stay in that tent after being asked to leave. Karmelo chose to use a weapon on an unarmed human. This shouldn't be complicated. It also shouldn't be racial, but it's getting treated that way. I see black people leaping to the defense of Karmelo with their words and their dollars. I see the killer's family raising as much money as a family of a kid who was killed.
We all sometimes get annoyed with, Karens telling us what to do, right? But the difference is like not all of us end up stabbing the motherfuckers. Now, is it a bad take? Probably. All I'm saying is this. If you don't know how to control your anger, if you don't know how to actually have a disagreement or even argument with people without resulting to some sort of violence, perhaps your place is not really to be in society. Perhaps your place is to kind of like go somewhere where you actually, can deal with all the motherfuckers that don't know how to resolve their problems, their conflict without aggression, without actually having to feel like stabbing somebody.
Rosa Parks days is over. You cannot think that you can move somebody out of a seat that you don't own and think that it's going to be okay. And you can't determine how I'm going to retaliate on you when you put your hands on me in an aggressive manner. Austin Metcalf got exactly what he deserved.
But white people, obviously not all of you, so let me just get that out the way, but a bunch of y'all are just a bunch of racist, bigoted crisis actors.
People really believe that kid had the right to tell Karmelo to move. If that kid would have just minded his own business, would he or would he not still be alive?
However, there's a deeper issue here, right? Because what I think is going on is this case right here, right? Karmelo Anthony or whatever, right? This case right here, people are using it as a conduit to how they actually feel inside based on their own biases, based on their own hatred, or based on their own hypocrisy. Like, for example, right? If you are anti-white, if you feel like the white race is the devil, whatever, right? So then therefore, whenever you see a case like, say, like Karmelo Anthony, automatically, you going to try to justify the action of that person, whether that person is innocent or guilty. Because to you, is that white kid deserved the stabbing? Because how dare you put your hands on, people? This isn't like the back of the bus type of bullshit. So yeah, if you put your hand on somebody, you deserve to die, or you deserve what's coming to you.
But this Karmelo Anthony situation up, he was over there defending himself against two thugs who was trying to rob him. Okay? They was trying to rob him, and he stabbed the thugs. Let's wrap it up.
How do we know if it was the stab wound to the heart that killed the little white boy? How do we know he didn't have a heart attack off fentanyl prior to being stabbed in the heart? I'd like to see his criminal record. Does he have a history of moving forward onto sharp objects? I'm just saying, a stab wound to the heart might not have been the only thing that caused his death. We don't know if it did at all. Was he on drugs? Maybe if he wasn't an on the bench type of boy and had been in the game, why wasn't he good enough to be on the field? Even if it was a break, was it drugs? Did he maybe fail a drug test and that inhibited him from playing, and he was mad and walked towards a random knife that was held up somehow, and drugs made him do that? I've seen comments saying, like, even if he did put his hands on Karmelo, that doesn't mean stab him in the heart, which is crazy because y'all be hanging us, but we don't know if it was drugs.
Or if you more of a, you're looking at black people, you already have that hatred, or you already have that prejudice on black people, you can always put out the examples of all these black kids attacking white kids and say, see, another savage attacking our poor little white angel. There's his story, there's this side and there's that side, but the truth tends to rest at its edge, right? And to me, is we can't really come out and make our conclusion, because if we don't know exactly how everything turns out, so we have to sometime wait for the evidence that showed up in cases like this. But unfortunately, I think the people that's really gonna make some money off of this are the hustlers, the pro-black hustlers, people who actually, the race baiters, and people like BLM. You already have, let's say, the GoFundMe raised like over $500,000 and stuff like that. And then after the bail was set up, I believe this kid's parent, Karmelo Anthony's parents, they already renting out a mansion or something like that, already purchased a car. They already living large off of that donation.
This is from a story in the New York Post, which says that despite getting his bail lowered from $1 million to $250,000 because of, quote, financial difficulties, Karmelo Anthony and his family have not only moved into a $900,000 home in a luxurious gated community, but they've also gone car shopping. This is from the Post. It is basically saying that he lives in that $900,000 home in a luxurious gated community. And it said, according to the New York Post reporting, it had a white Suburban, a black Acura, and a third sedan in the driveway on Tuesday. And again,
so allegedly, I don't know, I still have to verify that story, but they already moved out of that neighborhood and actually, move towards where, where they don't have to deal with Pookie and Ray Ray. So, hey, good for them. If you donating to them, you think he's innocent, and they using that money however they see fit, hey, you can't criticize them. You're the one that give your tax. You're the one that give your hard-earned cash to them to fight the power. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. You know who it is. I'm your host, The Haitian. So share, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out of here. Peace.